Okay, cool. All right, so you're gonna work with Mike, and when Loretto comes here, you guys okay. So what kind of get him caught up into what we've been doing?
She saw.
Yeah, she saw. But you basically know, so if you have any questions, all you have to do is just think, okay, I have one arm on the bottom, one on the top. I should be able to control with the top hand, and I should be able to control the bottom hand. Then I should be able to attack with the top hand. I should be able to attack with the bottom hand. It's very easy. Just look at the big brother. He will ask the same question, right? So if I have my left on the bottom, right on the right, right on top, I should be able to defend. I mean, control with the bottom hand. Also control with the top hand, right? Well, there are many ways to control with the top hand. This is where you explore. Okay, do I want to control the wrist, or control the elbow, or control the elbow the other way, like this? Okay, and then bottom hand, can I control with the tonsile? Then can I control with the bottom cell? When you do, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you start to see, when you do one arm, you cannot forget the other. And that's what we pray on the other guys. If they don't train this way, if they don't train day in, day out, thinking both arms, they're going to be severely disadvantaged in a real situation. Yeah, because we as humans think of one arm at a time.
Oh yeah.
When you think of this, you forget this. But if you don't train to think about both at the same time, remember, your arms are independently dependent on each other. They can be independent, doing different things on their own, but they can also do different things according to what the other guy is doing. So if one guy is attacking, the other guy must be controlling. Okay? Because otherwise that hand's dead. You don't want a dead hand. If the other guy has two live hands, then then you're in trouble.
That demonstration, you just showed me a second way to set my own agenda. Now, when I set an agenda, do I share that with my partner, like what I'm working on? And
yes.
We should have the same agendas as well.
Well,
we don't have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to. It depends on who you work with. You can work with the same agenda, but you can start doing variations. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But because there's so many different ways to do one thing. Okay, so variation. But the person, let's say you're working on something, you have to nail that before moving on to variations. Okay, so that's what I call the roots. Okay, once you have the roots or the baseline, then everything is compared to that. Or there's so many ways to categorize what we're doing here. You can say it's a layering system, which I like.
Right, that's what I was thinking for a first agenda.
It's a layer because you have to have the first layer in order for the second layer to put on. Without the first layer, this is the first layer. Right? So you have the first layer and the second layer. Just keep putting layers on. But they're all connected.
Control with it.
Right.
Or attack.
Exactly.
Control.
First you're just controlling, then you're just attacking, then you control it with one, attack with the other, and then you switch.
Right.
Okay? So on the bottom hand, right, first you want to work on just control. Okay? I'm going to control with my bottom hand. Control with my top hand, right? Okay, top hand, you can also go top hand this way, right? Right? And then you switch to the other side, same thing. Control the bottom hand, control the top hand this way, or as elbow rise up, right? Okay, so you exhaust what you can do. Is there another way? Okay. So you can control the elbow by elbow coming down. You can also elbow coming up. Then you can also control the wrist. Okay. See, this is first layer. Then you say, depending on what I want to do, now I'm going to move this directions, right? Because remember, intentions determines the directions of your actions.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm still going to control the wrist, but my intentions change. So instead of just catching it like this, I'm going to move it this way. So now I can do this. See, that's layer or variations. Okay, so everyone has different ways to categorize what you're doing, okay? You can use mine to begin with, but eventually you're going to figure out another organizing way. There's no right or wrong way. Just like some people like to use number system. Some people like to use a lettering system. It doesn't matter. You say this is A or this is 1. It doesn't matter as long as you know what you're doing, right? But your own system cannot confuse you. If you're confused by your system, then it's not a system. Either use a numbering system or lettering system, doesn't matter. Okay? But everything goes back to the big brother. Again, you can go forward, you can go back. Right? Same thing. If I'm going to go back, see, same thing. See, I can go back. Or go sideways. It depends on your intention. Right? Or you go into a line style. Oh, because you want to do this. See, intentions determines your actions, and your actions have to go somewhere. Depending on what you want to do, your directions change. So they are connected, but the first came from thoughts. Your thoughts, your intentions, okay?
Was that a variation on capture loop just then?
Yeah, well, because I'm doing line style. I'm doing line style, right? Well, line style paved the way for a second form, okay? Right? So we have to see beyond the obvious. Otherwise, you do the same things over and over again. There's no creativity. The art doesn't exist. It means very mechanical. Okay? That's easy. You just memorize. Right? Or you do this and you do that, right? But then you say, hey, I'm on line style position. My hand can be closed or open. There's a wrist. I'm just going to check it. Right? So there's no right or wrong way. You just have to be creative. Okay, so I want to set you free. Anytime you have questions, just go ahead and ask me, okay? I'm going to get Aaron going here.
I was pretty dope. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, good. Okay, guys, doesn't mean you have to go there. Yeah, that way you're all in the. Perfect, right there. Now, you guys want to move back a little bit more, otherwise you can't see yourself. No, you're good. You're good. Yeah. There. That's it. No. Right there. Yeah. Okay. Good.
I'll be watching.
All right. Okay. So we're going back to. I'm going to quickly recap what we did. Last lesson. So lift, sync, open, close. Right. Good. Hit this out a little more. Good. All right. So. First, we do a time stop, okay? Center line, establish center line right here, okay? So 1. You're going to repeat, okay? You should, a little higher. Right. Now, since you are familiar with the movement now, good angle. Now you're going to start focusing on right here, okay? So when you imagine an object coming in, and you're going to make contact with the wrist, this area, okay? Right, and 2. Very good. 3. Good. 4. 5.
Go to the elbow high.
6. 7.
Do all those 3 on
Is there another
8.
one? Or is this the 3 basic we're working with right now?
Nine.
Not that there's not more, but is that what we're basically learning right now?
10.
Okay.
Wrist
So,
down.
Good.
There's also wrist
Okay,
down.
right hand, repeat. 1.
He goes into tongue.
2.
We're still dealing with this hand. Control the wrist.
3.
There. You did that?
we did the wrist, the elbow, and then elbow.
And you can control wrist.
5.
Oh, I grab up here
1,
too.
2.
6. Good.
Since you're
7.
right there.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
8.
Anywhere along here you could actually control.
Feel a circular.
Pretty much. You gotta do it quick, huh?
Now,
because he could pull you back and come back.
Ah,
10.
yes. You can take a step back. It's not
Depends on
like
his
this.
intention. There you go.
good. Now we're going to work on a concept
Okay.
of switching.
All right,
Left,
so on
right,
the
left,
bottom.
right. Okay. 1.
How do I control? I could.
2.
What is it from here? I could.
3.
This is what.
4.
I must be the power.
5.
Yes.
6.
Yeah, let's see.
7.
What else can we do?
Good.
The tonsils.
8. Now,
Controlling with the tongue.
10.
Controlling with the tongue.
Really be vigilant about thinking about the line going out or back.
Oh, yeah.
Right, very good. So that's the
I
concept.
come out this way, right?
So the next one we're going to work on is the downward, okay? Upward, downward, okay? So we are protecting these two, the left upper box and the right upper box. Now we're going to address the left lower box and the right lower box. Okay. Same thing. You want to make sure that the hand that's going to this corner, which is in front of you, because this one right here, it is going to cut your self-center line. So, you're going to go over a little bit and then touch with this part. Okay. As you notice, this is exactly like karate. See, we do empty hand. They do close fist. Same thing, right? They do the same thing, right? Now we do this. They do this. It's the same thing because they can't be any different. Because we're humans.
So you just bring it out.
Right. So you think about here's your center line. You go over and cut it. Specifically, think about this line. You're cutting that line. Okay. So when you practice by yourself, you're cutting yourself plane. Okay. All right. So your left go over to the right side of the center line and cut, slice, and with extended hand. Same thing that invisible wall prevents you from going out anymore. Okay. And then you just chamber. Okay. 2. Good. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, see your hand with the difference between your hand. Yeah, there you go. Right, and then. Yes. Yeah, so don't be in a rush, okay?
When the rains
5.
on, you were just.
Oh, I know. I was
There you
like,
go.
I had my best weeks ever, my
6.
best month ever, and then this is last Thursday since I.
7.
Are they just hiding?
Good.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad counseling.
8.
Things aren't bad. I mean, they're probably investigated like 50 addresses this week.
Now. 10.
I said address all this month.
Very good. Right.
Can
1.
I try the other side?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Good.
Still practicing
Two.
control. I need to try the other side.
Okay.
I think I need to go this way.
You're down here.
I did this already.
Yes. Yeah, so you really tense up this part so you can absorb impact. Yeah, right here. So the tools you use, whether defensive or offensive, are the same thing. The only difference is where that part of the limb makes contact. So in defense, you usually make contact with the forearm near the wrist, either the inside or the outside. When you make contact, as when it comes to attacking,
You know, if I did what you say, I think you're doing all right.
Left side.
yes, exactly. You have to represent a sword. So this is to defend this part of your arm. This is to
While I'm
attack.
doing it, once I'm rested or go home,
Good. So now we're going to work on it. By the way, this is called gansa. Gansa. Just means palm down. Just yeah, right. Just the opposite of tansa. So tansa, palm up, and gan, G-A-N, gan is palm down. Okay. Right. It's just describing the shape of the arm. It doesn't. It's not a translation of the actual meaning. The actual meaning, gan means to toil. It's like a farmer with the farm tool is actually making these trenches so he can plant the seeds. Okay, he's playing. So this represents cutting and making that trench. Okay, but doesn't matter. Just because we're just using the shape to describe palm down, palm up, and palm down. Okay, all right. So right side, same thing. Go over slightly. When your wrist touches the center line.
How much do you come over? Just kind of.
Yes.
On the side. We always want it at least an inch or two off.
Exactly.
To bring it up, protect. and then-
Right. So you here, the center line is right here. So as soon as your wrist touches it, cut it. Right. 10 seconds.
Just do it on each side.
Right, as much as you can. Yeah, right, without bending the arm. Yeah, that's it. You will see some Chun guys that dance on this way. Okay, to me, it's undesirable in my opinion because there's no tension here.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
bend it, then there's tension.
And there's tension right there. It
Right.
absorbs it.
Absolutely. That's the only reason we do that. Okay. All right. So right side, repeat. Okay.
Just do it.
1,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
see how this one would go?
Yeah.
One, just go neutral.
Forward.
2,
Yeah, this one. But it's tricky at first, huh?
3.
Okay.
Okay. Make sure palm up first before you turn it
Little
down.
applications.
4.
You're snaking in.
That's it.
Thanks, you're right.
5. Feeling actually hitting the wall. In your mind, your thumb.
Is
Feel
it?
that? Yeah.
So is it going to be parallel to my
Yeah,
shoulder, right?
exactly.
Okay, go like this.
Exactly. Just feel like you're actually doing this. You know, you feel
Hello.
the wall.
Oh, so it's actually not a bad practice. It's just
That's good.
No, it's actually a good idea actually. Yeah. So you want to 10 seconds. Okay. 6.
So now do this.
That's it. 7.
Buddha in there.
8. Relax your shoulders. 9. Good. 10. Very good. All right. So now we're going to the gun side.
And then you have pass.
By using a switching concept. Left hand first. 1. Big chamber. 2. Right hand.
I feel it. Now I feel like an eagle.
yeah, lay it out.
Right hand back a little more. Yeah. 4.
He's complete.
5. Bend at the wrist. Yes. 6. 7. Good. 8.
I was already going down.
9.
Plus, I'm not perfect, right?
10. Good. Okay, so Tansang, Gansang. Okay. I want to move on to the next one, which is called Jamsa. Jam. Jam, it just means to cut. To cut. Okay. Jam. Jam. You notice the previous two, we don't cross, our hands don't go to the opposite corners. Left hand go to the left upper or left lower corners, right? Right hand to right upper and right lower. This time we're going to do cross it. Left is going to touch the right corner, and right is going to touch the left corner. Okay, so you're really cutting it. Center line is right here. Your right hand, left hand is going to cut all the way, touches where your left hand used to touch. Okay? But make sure you don't turn the hand too soon. You want to turn the hand just prior to crossing the center line. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. You want to develop that torque. Yes, just you see it just when you're crossing it.
Turning all the way.
Turn into a Han shape.
Oh.
Yeah. So you know it may seem strange and inefficient when we first practice. The palm is facing out. And then when you're done, palm is facing out.
Okay.
Right? Okay? So, just go like this, okay? This is just exaggeration so we get to know how to do the movement, okay? 1.
What about the other two?
Touch. Good, you come back. Alright? And 2. Very good. 3. Very good. Okay, make sure your hand doesn't bend that way, it should be straight. Yes, doesn't be flat. Yeah. Same thing here, right?
So if you should end up like this.
Yes, exactly. Just like a concept. Rather than here, touching the other side. Okay?
Okay, well, we have to attack from the top and from the
4.
bottom, right?
Right. Any way you can get it.
Okay, here we go. Let's
5.
That was a little bit
All right.
complicated.
On the side.
I gotta
Uh-huh.
switch. There we go.
Okay, let's go,
We did?
Yeah.
let's go from the
Okay.
top from.
Turn loose sooner.
Is it gonna be
Prior to go.
And are you pushing
Yeah.
out more,
But I did do
or?
both.
You're
Oh, yeah, yeah,
touching,
yeah.
you're
I
going
meant
to
touching
touch
that.
Oh, yeah,
touch
right.
that corner.
So I'm gonna do top hand.
Still
this
tucked
out.
in a little bit.
Goes down, so that's, there you go.
You know
Just
it.
like you would like
Right.
this, except.
So the first one could
He
be
doesn't do
this.
that.
Yeah.
So it's more like,
First one is this.
are you turning your elbows?
No, not going down, it's going sideways.
Kind of.
It's like closing the door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you go down, then you miss it.
They'll scar it.
Now,
That's what I was saying.
imagine like, Gorilla can follow you.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Gorilla.
Yes.
I was just saying what I need to get tonight.
So,
I'm not, but I'm not going to, I can assure you.
this is right? Now, I want to be straight. If I go down,
That's always for the
breaks
apple
through.
farm.
You don't want his arm to touch you here, because the fingers are very fragile, easily collapsible. You want the reinforcement of the whole arm, so you want to put it here. So you don't want to go down, then he, right? Yeah, the goal is to touch that corner. If you go down.
That's all, Carol. Just kind of roll through that.
How you doing?
Great.
So,
Chris Connie Brett.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I call him Tim, like,
I'm
I'm so used to it.
Come on, friends, yeah.
It's like that.
There you go.
We're just working on
Okay.
just first single
Right?
simple.
So again, when you just like to
There's
see
another
this
one
corner,
attack from
you want to
the
see
top?
this corner right here. Yes, touch that corner, okay? Rather than, now you missed the corner, right?
Yes. So.
Yes,
yeah.
okay?
So
Right.
any way you can get in right now. Both.
It's like closing a door like
Okay,
this.
so I have this.
Yeah.
Yes, your elbow stays the same level.
And then John sells one
Yeah.
that drops.
Right, rather than, yeah, that's not exactly. Just,
And then,
And then.
let's see, now you're
left
approaching the
arm,
center
left
line.
arm.
Turn.
oh, okay,
Before
so
you
then
enter.
do this together.
Yeah,
So,
that- everything right now,
Yeah.
kind of just doing from training standards.
This was
All
right.
Oh, once you did it,
Yeah.
it adds application.
Okay.
So with your intention.
See the corner, right?
Wherever you want.
Yes,
Same.
start again on that side, okay?
So
If
also-
you're starting attacking with this hand, we're leaving this.
Yeah, that one needs.
Well, you
to
can
Oh,
stay.
you
do
leave it neutral.
Just do a slow and accelerate as
So
to
we're
approach
building
the
it.
center line.
Our foundation has it
Like this.
set up.
So you just want this.
So
Yes,
your
okay?
side's pulling back.
Yes.
There you go.
Or you
Okay.
don't actually like
Two.
Yeah.
forward this way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it
Three.
slides down.
Good. Four.
And this, whenever you're five.
Five.
Right? That's good.
Usually that
Oh,
way.
okay, you see way down?
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
This is what's that
Playing
way,
with
right?
Are you not turning?
No,
Staying
no turning yet.
Strikes.
Right,
Come
just,
this way.
so your body remains
You're just doing.
Oh, yeah.
Left arm
the same,
strikes.
rather than letting the
One strike,
arm,
one control.
That's
Compromise the body.
Okay. So it's parallel to the ground is where you work.
Right, so see, you just turn, see,
always have
the
it.
elbow goes
Yeah.
just straight across, rather than going down or coming up.
Shoulders.
Going up,
Like,
okay,
yeah.
straight across.
Oh, all the way to Chun it was.
Right, because you must be able to do it this way, rather
I
than,
never opened up.
right, you have to make contact, right?
I used to spin speed. I used to drive my car like this back. My mind driver on my head.
Right, but for now, focus on the fingertip, touch the corner.
Because they didn't have outside.
Touch the corner, then you're good. If you miss the one,
Here, it's about right here, right?
yes, exactly, yes. Yes, okay, so look for that, okay?
Left hand.
All right, let's try the right side.
Hand neutral.
Good. Right, same thing, right side. Okay. One.
What's another one?
Cross.
I gotta go.
Oops. Two.
This
And
one.
good. Okay. Don't make it bend like this.
Okay.
Straight.
Oops.
So I just need to.
I know the rest.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotta practice.
No problem. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
Three.
Because you can be John or you
Huh?
can.
Four.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
how
that was
I
good.
Pay attention to
Five.
rise and fall.
Oh, that's as it falls.
Because you can go with, you go against the shape.
That's what I
Or
was
you-
doing.
Or you can go with the shape.
Right? Really?
Seven.
That's right there.
Yeah.
Good.
Just gotta see.
It's a little easier.
Eight.
This one's
Oh,
nice going food.
okay.
See that? Yeah.
Because it protects the good here.
Nine.
Control. The control.
10. Good. Okay. All right, take a break.
There's a camera on that side for me.
There's always.
I know there is, but I'm wondering what it is as I'm trying to discover.
Alright, so that's all of it.
There you go.
So we just did, just kind of building this stuff.
No, I'm just watching you.
So we
You have a lot of
right.
tools you can play.
No, it's
Yeah.
good. So we just went through all the different controls, left hand, right hand, and the other side.
I guess it is more.
Then we did all the attacks, you know, with the against or with the shade slipping in.
Yep.
So now we're kind of at the, and that was with the one attack and one neutral. And now we're just going to do one attack,
One control.
and control with application.
Good. Right. Very good. Stop. Now, what he just did with the locks, if you know what you're looking for, it's very easy. The trick is, can you recognize the joints? Locks are all about joints, right? So that's why it's called joint locking. Okay? In Chinese, they call it qin na.
Like I said, right there, his palm's right there. Where
So what you want to see is, I know you guys know this already, okay, but just let me repeat myself. What you want to do is your joints, the relationship between your joints and its joints. Your hand is a wrist. Okay? The hand is not independent. The hand is attached to the wrist. Okay, so wrist, elbow, and shoulder. Okay. So when I say hand, I'm really referring to the wrist. Without the wrist, there's no hand. Right? Single to attach to. So when you control, so when you get into an environment or situation, what you want to see is, what are my joints, this joint, my elbow joints, in relationship to his, okay, which is the quickest way, right? Simplicity, right? You don't want to see long distance because it takes too long to execute. It's likely to fail. Right, so what is this situation? Immediately, I see elbow right here. I see wrist, right? Right? My wrist, see, it's right here. That's why it's so important to not only this allows you to do sensitivity drill, but you also see, tansa, bangsa, right? Tansa. As you go into bangsa, see that? Bangsa is lansa, right? Remember? When your arms are on the bottom, you look at your own tansa bangsa. When you're on top, he's on the bottom now. You look at his. Okay, so what I did was I'm looking at my own tansa bangsa, right? But I also figured out where my elbow, my wrist is in relation to his, and my wrist is in relation to his, right? If I'm here, into lansa, bangsa or lansa. So I can just go into lansa. Right? Okay. Same thing. If I can do lansa like this, which came from tansa, then I can use bangsa to tansa. I see it right here, right here. So what I'm doing is this. I'm going to control like this. Right? I haven't even changed. I don't need to. This is the goods. It is not until you do. See people do this, right? Trust me, everybody does this. You go on YouTube and do cheese out. That's what they do. They keep thinking this is how you get to that good stuff, not knowing this is the good stuff. You don't have to change in order to have, because let's face it, in reality, you don't change. Let me get on top so I can do this. You should be able to do it while you're on the bottom or while you're on the top. Okay? Of course, that's one, as is. Then you have the opposite, which is change. So you can attack or control as you change, which is to go from top to bottom or from bottom to top. So we have baseline. The baseline is the most important part of the foundation. If you can make things happen as is without changing, you're already ahead of the game. Then you learn how to do controlling and attacking while you're changing. Right? So from here, let's do a full change, right? He starts, right? Right? It's right there. Okay? As it comes down, see, he's going to turn into a tansa. But I've learned this already.
Yeah.
Remember?
And if you can control, then you can.
Exactly. So now I'm no different. So I can just, I want to push this way so it gives me room. Right? Or when he goes down, I'm going to control the elbow this way or this way. Okay, I don't want to do this, but now he does this. Okay.
How can you control them with the wrist?
Well, I can control the wrist with one hand, like this or like this. Yeah, so I control
You gotta hit your elbow like
right.
kids.
Now this I did not show you because I wanted you to keep it away, but I wanted to. I think you guys did it before, right?
So,
Yeah. So if you can control the wrist when it's going down, you should be able to control the wrist and the elbow. Because you don't want to just do this, and now you just, thank you, boom. Right? Okay, so anyway, that's beside the question. So he changes again, but see it? Right there. Right? Well, because, look, single, right? He changes. Because now see, bounce up, right? Right. If I think this, right? So he turns and right there. I just slide down. Using this natural cascading movement that he's doing. He's doing this, okay? And catch it. Catch it. Right? So just add the other hand. You see? I'm just doing a full change. Right? That is, if you see, it's about discoveries. If you didn't know that, you didn't discover that, he goes into a blind spot. Right? He's going to grab me, right? Right? He's going to come, he's going to be elbow against me, right? Because bounce out is tansa. Bounce out is lanza. Bounce out is fusa. Okay. I know a lot of people will say
Different tilts.
exactly, right? Doesn't matter what other people say. Just as long as you know what I mean. See? Right? Bong, lan, foot. Okay? Bong, lan, foot. Right? Because your intentions change, so you can't use bounce out. Yes, you can use bounce out to attack if you focus on the elbow. But if you focus on the hand, it needs to be different. So applications never look like the original movement or drill because environments are different. Okay? So full change allows you to, because you are doing the same thing, right? Full change. He goes here, and then you go there, right? But as you go there, you go like here. You are very keenly aware of your hands. That's just one. But it all came from a full change. Right? Okay, so now you do it, okay? I'm going to start a change, right? Right? Exactly! Right there. Okay. Yeah, because he's changing because I offer him my tansa. See now, right? But since you know, then you know, oh, I can do this. It's a single. Yeah. Off the hand, right? So he comes in, right? This is also very, very important. To be able to see two hands and immediately analyze what one hand is doing. You can't just see two as a whole and then you don't know where they came from. You're just mimicking, right? So again, one more time, right? No, this way, right? Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I start the action, right? Yeah, right here, right? See, normally I turn the bounce out. He turns to a full out, and he turns to a bounce out, turning to a full out. It's very important to know. Yeah. This is neutral. I'm neither attacking or defending. Without knowing that as a foundation, everything else is just techniques.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just show me how to do that. No, no, no. Don't show me.
Right.
Tell me the principle. Okay? So again, you have to be able to go back and forth. Let's go back to single this hand. Because this is how we started, right? Take this away. You should be able to do this, right? Right? Okay? He can turn into a full style, which is neutral, or he can control my elbow. Right? You have to know this came from this. This is the baseline, or the root. Without this, there's nothing else. Without this, there's no this. Without this, there's no this. Okay? Because the energy direction changed. The intentions changed. Before, you're thinking neutral. I'm just putting out neutral for energy. Now I'm thinking I'm going to control, which is upward energy. The direction changed. Right? So let's take away that hand, which I'm the bottom. So this time he starts because I start and then he starts like waves, right? So he starts, right? And he's going to come in to attack me. I know that because I've done this before, right? Again, right? Neutral. Neutral. You just turn into, right? One time, okay? It starts to change, and see, right there. But what's the next one? Next one is this. But if he turns into a tansa to attack, what is the difference between this, I started, or he starts? Okay, it is a tansa. You get it? Okay? That's why it's so powerful. It doesn't matter if I initiate that capturing the wrist, or he initiates. Because when he comes to attack, he focuses here, come to the neck. I see this. I don't want to grab this. I want to grab here, just like I normally do. Normally, let's see, let me initiate, okay? See, I initiate. Capture. Here. Okay? Right? And capture. Now he initiates, which means from downside, he's going to go like this. Right? All I'm seeing is, oh, it's a tansa. I can catch. Because you do this so many times, you learn to recognize the environment. But you also know this is not the only answer, because you can also catch the elbow. Or you can catch the wrist by doing exactly what he did. Because he offered you tansa. Jiangsa is tansa. Same shape. If I don't move, this and this look the same. Okay? That's why there are only two shapes. Bangsa and tansa.
Yeah.
So, I'm on the bottom. He's looking at my tansa bangsa. So he can do this when I'm in tansa. Right? As I turn into tansa, he can do this. But as he turns to tansa, I can do this too. Or I can do this. Right? But if he comes in and wedge, then I can, because if he comes in and wedging, that's, yeah. So I have to do the same thing to him. Right? You're going to do the same thing. So no one really has any advantage if you have some knowledge. So yeah, it's very important to do both hands and then do single hand and then do the other. You should be able to put it together, and break it apart. At any given time, you know exactly where you are. Otherwise, you're struggling to mimic. Show me the steps again. No, oh wow, that's bad. You're looking for step 1 to step 5. That's memorizing the techniques. Which, if you don't, if you understand the concept, you say, is in tansa or is in bangsa? That's all. And on top or on the bottom. On bottom, I'm looking for my own tan ball. On top, I'm looking for his tan ball. Okay.
Which essentially is whatever tan bongs are moving or
Right.
play.
Yeah, that's the beauty. It doesn't matter whether it's shape is tansa or bangsa. While you're on top, you can control and also attack. Right? Remember we went through this?
Yeah.
Right? I can attack when he's in tansa. I can also attack when he's in bangsa. Tansa. Bangsa. Tansa. Bangsa. Okay? I know there are so many different layers that they may seem to be many moving parts, but it just look. I have two ways. I either attack him here or here. I know how to attack here. This is the first thing we learn. Remember that? Okay, tan, strike, and then bomb. 1, okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the first thing we learn, right? You know that already, okay? So now we're looking for bounce up, that's it. Okay? Or bounce up and tons up. So you can make it happen anytime. Anytime you can make it happen.
Yeah, here's a philosophical question. Is the other third, which would be the Fuq Sao elbow down, is that really a Tom Sao palm down? I don't know if there's an answer. You know, it's a joke. Get it? Like, so you're doing Fuq, Ton, right? Fuq,
right?
Ton, and there's Fuq. There's also Fuq.
Right.
So is this really a Ton Sao with the palm down, or is it a Fuq Sao?
It's a Fuq Sao. It's still a Fuq Sao. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can also, this is very, very important, because now that you figured out how to, when he's in Tan Sao, you can attack with Jump Sao. Now you can also attack with Fuq Sao. Then you say, can I attack him as if, of course!
Right.
If I can attack him this way, I can attack him this way. Right?
Yeah.
Because the big brother, you have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Right? So, one more time. When he's in bounce Sao, which is this shape, okay, I can attack him with Fuq Sao. I can also attack him on his way up, up, or this. Right? Same thing. When he goes down, I can go Tan Sao, or I can also go Fuq Sao. So whether he's in bounce Sao shape, I can attack this way and this way. When he's in Tan Sao shape, I can attack Fuq or jump. This is what we're doing right now, jump Sao. Okay. Alright? Everything you say, oh, how come this has two ways? It's not balanced. Let me figure out how to do that. And the answer is right there. Doesn't mean I can get in. But it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Fighting is not about one blow kill. You very rarely, unless you sucker punch the guy. First, second, third, usually don't end the fight. That's a given. The guy is prepared. I mean, he's know you're going to attack him. So he's not going to let you get in. Okay? It'll take a while to get to you. That's a given, right? So we don't depend on the first few strikes to succeed. It's a cumulative. Remember, there's mechanical interrupt, which is to rattle him. See, that's what this is. By doing this, I'm not doing any damage, right? But I rattle him, right? Right? Because now, if you throw the other hand in, that becomes meaningful. Because while he's focusing on this hand, the other hand can sneak in. That's the beauty of it. You're doing two-sided, both-sided, you know. We don't favor each one to be able to control and attack with the left as well as the right. Okay. So there's not that. The right side is always the power hand. What if you, oh, no, I got it here. Okay, you're disadvantaged. Because that's a worry for you. Oh, my left side forward, I got to change this up. Just like Muay Thai guys, they kick, if they're right-handed, the right leg is the power leg. So if they want to do some damage, they do this shuffle thing, they do this jump, hop. So they can kick with the right hand. In fact, they practice this way. Okay? The trainer will have this pad here, he goes, boom, and jump back, here. They finish kicking, here, jump back. Kick, jump back. Wow. You're teaching them to waste time?
A lot of energy too.
Yeah, just that leg, if it gets to the target, it's going to create a lot of damage. But you don't look at one blow as the killing blow. You know, you soften him up with mechanical interrupt, you know, cutting a little bit, you know, demoralize him.
Karate master or something.
Yeah.
Those are rare.
You know, right. So stand there, don't move. Yes, of course. You know, you have a guy sitting here, don't move, let me punch you. Yeah, of course. Okay? Just boom. Don't move. Who told you to move? I won't mention names. Right? Anyway, so we won't mention names. Yes. He's not coming and call me like challenge fight, you know. Anyway,
So it
so,
was a perfect weapon that day.
leave it at that. Good.
Thanks, Lee.
Oh, you're welcome. So, keep those
Yeah.
concepts in mind, okay?
So I'm gonna practice if you want to keep.
Oh, no problem.
We got school.
That's a good thing. You know, now you notice that.
So we're.
We have tons of.
Volunteer, I volunteer.
Then we have jump stop. The shape look, the shapes look identical. And you hear me saying,
Just gonna.
using tons of jump stop to control. Wait, you just told me to use tons of jump as a defense.
Attack, defend.
Exactly, yes,
Receiving.
yes,
I
yes,
got it.
exactly right.
I remember that from
Yeah.
the first one.
You see that one?
Remember, it's very powerful. Now you have to
The other
say,
person can.
show me all the defensive tools. Got it?
Yeah.
Show me
and
all
then
the
respond
offensive
to a single
tools.
and just
It's the same.
It's
whatever
the same
you choose
thing.
to do or
The
whatever
shapes
you wanna
by
work
themselves
with,
have no
just pick
meanings
one,
until
and
you
then
apply
break it
them.
down single, like, okay, so
what do I
left
want
hand
to
is
do
doing
with my
this.
time sound? As a defensive mechanism or as the offensive tool?
Yeah. The way I see that is, if all you carry is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But if you have a bunch of tools, you can use a wrench as a hammer too.
So,
But it's
yeah,
how
you're
you
doing
use
that,
it
right.
that makes it important.
Yeah, and you know the hammer has a nail puller,
right, so there's.
right? So it
one's-
can
one's
nail, pound the nails in or pull the nails out.
That's where I was.
That's
So
it.
then once you.
Or
like,
we have a
okay,
tool.
I'm gonna do this
Or
inch,
what we call
then
single.
go.
It's anything you want it to be.
It's whatever
You know, it can be a measuring tape, it can be a saw, it can be hammers like a Swiss knife.
Yeah. There was another name, when I was in the Navy, there was another name for it. It was called the motherfucker. Give me the motherfucker.
Oh, that's right, that says it all, that says it all. Yeah. Right. So what we're doing right now is using these shapes, tansa, jump stop, as defensive tools. And then later on, we're gonna turn them around and say, if you can defend with these tools, you can attack these tools, okay? All right, so let's go back to jump stop again, okay?
I'll go from the bottom. So one arm's gonna control,
There you
one
go.
arm's gonna attack.
Were you able to get
And then
to
from
do
here,
the
it's
video?
just whatever motion.
You know what, I don't know if my wife was able to, I have to get back on there.
Oh, okay.
I've been working a lot, but
Oh, okay.
I definitely have to get on there.
All right, so get into your training stance.
Go through all the strikes
Okay,
again.
and again, avoid pulling your hips in when you're doing it. So when you sing, your hips are already out. Right, let them stay out. All you do is open and close. Let the hips forward. Okay, very good. All right, so now we're going to do jump stop in a, using the concept of switching. So left hand first. You want to do that one?
Case
Chamber.
stays in line with.
Two.
We're just adding the control.
Three.
We first started off control, then we started off the tail. Now we're adding the two.
Four.
Control and attack, using a hook. Now,
Five.
Go back, and I will.
6, turn the hand just prior to touching the corner.
Control, then you
Control, one
control,
attack.
then attack.
7,
Basically, you want to
Now
attack each
Good.
hand twice.
8,
Right.
9,
Just do different form.
10, and very good. All right, so that's jump stop, okay? So we discussed tan stop, jump stop. Tan is palm up, gan palm down.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jump is a chopping motion.
I think I should
Okay,
follow
we
him
call
by
it,
hand fast.
it's called a chopping hand.
Yeah.
Okay, chopping hand. Just a
That's the
nail.
only way to help me. Don't-
And then-
you know, don't follow me back this time.
So that's the 3, okay?
Okay, you can still.
Pan,
Yeah.
gan,
You made it actually
Jump.
easier by following.
and the last one.
Yeah, the first time we knew it was
It's a
beautiful.
lot better just to
Oh.
close the gap.
Okay.
Yes, now I can get in.
You know, you heard you use the word fuxai, right?
Yeah, you took
Fuxai,
right in.
it is very similar.
That was a lot
The
easier than I
beginning
expected.
movement
Okay.
looks
So
very
that's-
much like
that's-
gansa,
Well, before we switch to he.
right? See how
Go.
my left
And then we'll switch
goes
hands and do it again.
over to the other side
Or
and then down.
control.
Now this time you do the same thing except you're going up like this, like this.
What was the other one was?
Okay, except you don't want,
I don't know.
it is just like this, except the arm is bent. This is the only time your arm is out of that wall.
This way.
Go beyond the wall.
Now we're at control.
Yes,
Oh.
because you're using this part of your hand.
Oh, so it'd be like Oh, okay. Now, before you do here, same thing, right. Now you're doing this. Right. So this is exactly like how the karate people would do with their rising block, like this.
Okay. I've
Okay?
seen my son do that.
Exactly. The rising block, right? You just open the hand, that's all. Right? That's why I say, you know, everybody who has this martial art is a brother, because we all use the same human movements to accomplish same things, okay? So now, this
This
is
is like somebody throwing an overhand right when they're going.
could be a hook. Yeah, so basically, he's attacking you this way, you are, see it right here?
He's coming
You're-
over.
You're doing this.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So when you're finished, instead of fingertips touching the corner, is your palm heel. Right there. Okay? And you want it away from you, not like this, not straight, but bent. Yeah, bent. Right. And you want to make sure that line you create is a straight line. Okay? Imagine this is a marker, magic marker. You're drawing a straight line rather than a circular line. Yes, as opposed to.
Because you want to get there quickly.
Absolutely. Otherwise,
He's going to hit you.
exactly. Right? So he's throwing a hook, right? He's throwing a hook, right? And I do this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're gonna lose it.
Exactly.
Going in.
Yeah, so I don't want, yeah.
Just like, help me.
Exactly. And I want, remember, it's cutting his line. So he's throwing a circular line. I'm cutting, using a straight line to cut it. Okay? I don't want to use a circular line because now I've missed him. He's coming here, you went underneath.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. Right, so you want to, again, you want to see that line being cut. Since you're practicing by yourself, you use the mirror, which means here's the center line, and you cut it like this. Cut, cut, yeah. It's a upward as opposed to downward. Okay? All right.
Is that what you gotta do here?
Good.
And you're going, continuing to that corner.
And stop. Only when your palm heel touches the corner, then you stop.
You can go in
Okay?
the next to the jump.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Oh,
All
this
right.
way.
So we're in training stance. Okay. So left hand goes over to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
See, when you see your wrist touching the center line, then you go straight line.
They're going up high, okay.
Right. Come back from this catch and we'll repeat the left side. 2.
Oh, that's the wrist this way.
Good. 3. 4. Good. 5. 6. 7. 8.
Oh, you want to join it?
9. 10. Very good.
Cheated on that one.
1. Good. 2 is an upward, angular, straight line, angular. Okay? So you should see this line like this. Straight line, okay? 3.
So when you're doing G-Suck, you need
4.
to elaborate a lot. You do need to rest. Try to do
5.
this
Make sure your arm is bent.
Makes you in great shape.
Right? There you go. See, this covers a lot. This covers a lot.
Yeah.
5. Take your time. Do it 2 steps. 1, 2. Okay? 6. 2. 7. Good. 8. Just like you do it this way. Same thing. Just bent arm. Straight arm down here, bent arm up here. 9. Sure. Palm facing you first and facing out. 10. If you're just too straight, then you're open. Bent, you could get more coverage. Okay? All right, very good. So now we're going to do switching. Okay? We're switching. When your legs get tired, just spread them apart. You don't have to clench them. Okay?
Okay. Need the
We'll get used to it in a few months.
Right. Yeah. Right. I guess it could. Not too big of a.
Okay. So left, right, okay? Again, look at the lines that you create, okay? 1.
Right?
Look at the corner. 2. 3. Look at the shape of your arms.
That's true. Once
See
you
if my palm is facing out. Yes. 4.
trying to get under that. See?
5.
From you?
6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Very good. Very good. Good job.
Good job.
Do you have water? Just for you. Oh, okay. So this is so-called chi sao, CHI-SAO, appears to be a very benign, sometimes nonsensical exercise. What it entails is what most people regard Wing Chun as close quarter fighting. This is the training for close quarter fighting. This is fighting the close quarter fighting. Allows you to be very comfortable.
I was feeling it the more I roll.
Make sure your elbows all the way down when you do contact. Who can tell me why?
I go all the way
You don't encourage the center line. You're not covering the center line.
You have a better strike.
Yes. See, if you're here, right? If you're here, do a half hands on like this, right? How can you attack his neck? If you're here, see?
Yeah, it is open.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
line is still closed.
Right. Yeah, because
Putting that in there, so you can
the
swing.
reason most people do a half like this because they are afraid the other person is going to come in.
Yeah.
All right?
As soon as you feel them coming in, you just launch them.
But if you feel coming, you gotta just get underneath it, right?
Okay. So while he's doing that,
So I tried to see if I could cover, so I put it right in
what-
there.
yeah, so what you're doing is you just want him to get in, but you want to make contact. So you're this way? Okay. So when he comes in, just catch. Or like this. He comes in, let him get in, but at least you have that contact.
Well, I was doing it for a while, I was like just guiding my hand up here.
Yeah.
The thing is, but when I did that, it was like opening it up where he was getting a lot, he'd have more force at the end of his strike.
Yeah, that's
I know we were just training it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to develop that out, so I didn't know if we should be using this part or if you want us to use the hand.
Oh, both. If
Okay.
you want to use the hand or use the
But have something to cover.
you can use the elbow or use the hand.
Elbow,
Right?
right.
But it doesn't mean that he has advantage over you. You just have to see it. So when he comes in, I do this. You have just because you have you have to see it. Let's do it slowly. Okay. I'm just going to be right. So when he comes in, see right there. You have to see it, right? Or you do this same thing because you're in bounce up, right? Bounce up turns to a line up. Bounce. Okay. So really, once you start discovering, no one has any advantage over you. It's just about skills and knowledge. The only reason the other person has an edge is because his knowledge is more. That's all. But the skills are the same. You have the same tools, right? Just how well you know those tools makes a difference. So again, it's not how much you know, it's how well you know what you know. Right?
This is athletic ability.
Well, of course, yeah. We're all born with different. Yeah.
Some of us, well, we do the best with what we can. Whatever God wants.
But I think Wing Chun is really an equal opportunity art. It allows a person to learn and progress at snail's pace and yet be very good. Whether he gets there first or he gets there second, it doesn't matter, you still get there. Right?
Age gracefully.
Yeah. You don't need to be there. It's not a competition. To me, it's not about competition among students, but rather a comparison between the present you and the past you. Are you progressing as compared to a month ago or even a week ago? That you see, because if you're always comparing with someone who's been here longer, or who does it more, or is more gifted physically, then you become really bad and quick, right? How come I cannot catch up? You know, well, if you practice 2 hours, you got to practice 6 hours. You don't
Still
know.
becoming better than you were.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not that. If you can spare 2 hours, do 2 hours. If you cannot spare 2 hours, do 10 minutes. Because we're not in a hurry to get into an MMA fight, right? Right? But there's no deadline as to how we want to be. So you journey. So I always say, enjoy the journey, not in the destination. When you get there, so what you see is nothing. I put my blinders on because all I can see is my destination. I got here, but I have no experience. What did you see along the way? I didn't even pay attention. I don't know, I got a black belt. Right, exactly. I just want to learn that.
They got your $8,000 to $10,000.
You know, so the journey itself is more important than the destination. In fact, I think I often quote this Bruce Lee's screenplay. It's called Silent Flute. He actually turned into a movie called Circle of Iron. So it's about this martial artist going to this mountain to find this book of knowledge. Okay. Along the way, he was fighting other martial artists to get to there. So when he finally got there, he opened the book. It was very disappointing. He didn't see. He was not enlightened. He just saw a mirror. In it, he sees his own reflection. Okay. Destination is you. You. How enriched you are on your way over here. What did you learn? By the way, I can do this. I can talk about this. Doesn't mean I can do it. Okay, I'm trying to do it. Okay.
But isn't that how life is? You get so caught up in all the repetition, all the mechanical stuff we have to go through.
Right.
Life,
Exactly.
that's when you get to the end of the road and you're like,
Is that all there is?
I guess that's what.
So it is a spiritual and physical journey. We are trying to do that. I understand it. Doesn't mean I can do it. I'm trying to do it, okay? And that itself, the effort itself, is very rewarding. At least you know what's the proper way about running it. Just kind of, I don't know what to do. I just want to get somewhere. But where is somewhere? What is it over there, you know?
Yeah. I think too, like maybe not waiting to get to the end to actually look at yourself. Like start observing yourself
Right.
now.
Right. That journey, that proverbial journey in the book is not about the physical journey. Although the movie shows you a physical journey, but it's a spiritual journey which can end anywhere if you want. He was a philosophy student. He was able to conjure out these kind of different, kind of weird, not weird, kind of different perspective.
Tai Chi mat.
Tai Chi, yeah. So
Different kind of journey.
yeah. So it's and I'm sure you are enjoying the journey. It's just fun. You know, it's just like wow, yeah, I can do this, and I can do the same thing and turn into that, and that, and that. And meanwhile, you're just using one thing.
That was the exact same answer I thought about when we left the other day. You were asking me how long it took to get better or wherever it was. I was like, it's just a matter of having fun.
Yeah.
If you're enjoying yourself, I'm like,
Yeah.
you get better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long.
And you don't realize you're getting
Right.
better. It's just like, oh, I can do that. But most people don't stop and think when they first came here,
how ignorant they are. They just see, I can do, but compared to a year ago, whoa, I was like a babe, and, you know, I don't know nothing, but now I can spew out these concepts and principles and explain and actually apply them. Before I was like, that, wow, what a growth. So that's really rewarding to see yourself progress. Absolutely. Cool. Wow, I have more fun.
Just a little bit. You already smushed it. No, it's already half smushed. I just got to kill it all the way.
Is that the airway?
It's a waterfall to me.
If you,
Oh, that.
yeah.
Oh.
Imaginary.
So you're saying this pain spot?
Yeah. I'm saying he's killed it, smushed it.
Okay, see, I want to take that opportunity also to explain this, my observation. You know, it's the same pain spot, right? And everybody look at this spot and sees it different. Okay, that's a butterfly. Okay, and then there's something else. Everybody sees the same thing differently. This is why when you go to a Wing Chun guy who studied, say he's a first generation student from Vietnam, right? He's showing you Tan Sao this way. Okay, so you learned it, and then somehow you were transferred to Utah, whatever. You learned from another master who also came from Vietnam. And he explained Tan Sao differently. So wait, how come you two both came from Vietnam, yet you have different interpretation of the same thing? That same thing is this, Tan Sao. What the guy said you gotta hold it high and more straight out like this. The other guy said no, short and flat. Tan Sao, how come there are two interpretations? That's exactly what it is. They look at the same object and say, that looks like a frog. That looks like a monkey. That looks like a bear. And everybody has different perspective and interpretation of the same thing. Just like there's so many different branches of personality. Baptist, evangelist. It's from the same Bible. How come he sees this way? He says, no, should be interpreted this way. And then they're all right. There's no wrong way, as long as it works for you. Okay? So
you're happy.
Exactly. Depending on how you rotate what angle you're looking at it, I could see the different thing in every position I look at.
And sometimes just listening to someone else's interpretation of the concept enriches you.
Right.
Oh, I never thought about that. I always thought concept should be applied this way. And he came along and said, oh, have you thought about using concept this way? No, rather than rejecting it, no, that's not how concept should be, which is what most guys do. They tend to be very narrow-minded. Anything that's not theirs, they reject. Oh, you're from Yongqing, so no, that's wrong. No, you're from William Chong, that's wrong. Okay? So, interesting. Show me that. Why? Show me. Oh, now this is what my teacher said. Pieces of the same. What everybody's interpretation is only represents one piece of that concept. So 5 people explain 5 different ways. You say, everybody who has a slice of pizza thinks he has the whole pizza. Because they reject the other guys. If I reject, how can one person know everything? We are one human, right? The more people you have, the more opinions and observations and experiences you share. So that makes, I think this is perhaps the spiritual aspect of Wing Chun, is to become an open-minded person. Not just coming when it comes to martial arts, but also different political views, different opinions, rather than I just reject you because it's wrong. In my opinion, it's wrong. Say, hear what the other person has to say. You know, rather than just put up a block wall. I don't care what you say, I'm not going to listen. Okay, so that becomes very open-minded. Right? That's why in politics you have someone who are called moderate. Right? So you have moderate Republicans, you have moderate Democrats, right? Rather than anything Democrats said is wrong. Right.
So many people are becoming independent.
Right.
I'm tired of the two.
You know? Right. So should vote by issues, not on candidates.
right? I don't care who he is, does he make sense? Right? I don't care if he's Republican or candidate, does it make sense to me? Right? No, I don't care what he says, even if it makes sense, I'm not going to vote for him. It doesn't matter if he makes sense. He's on the other team. Okay? So I don't expect the world to run that way, and say, but at least the grassroots movement, we start thinking this way. You know, pass along to our children, and to their children. You know, so maybe something will change. No, Washington did.
Someone's going to do that.
Yeah. That should be the symbol in Congress. The big yin and yang. That's our point. Congressman needs to have freshmen go to college, they have an orientation. This is a must read. Right? Do you understand the meaning of the yin and yang? Alright? So Republican and Democrat, you're supposed to work for the common good, not for your own parties, the people. But they use the people as what people?
How can you get rich if you think like that? You gotta get your own stuff.
Well,
bring your own stuff.
That's true. But you do what?
That's their greed.
You can do what Bill Gates does. Millions away.
Well, when you have billions, it's easy to do that.
Well, right. But first you have to earn it. See, that's your struggle. When you get it, we all love to spend it. Right. I mean, how many millions do you need? Really, you know? I mean, you can't.
Millions you can get.
No, that's how they do it. But the same thing, you know, I'm sharing my knowledge with you. I don't hide anything because it's not really to hide. If you follow the principles and concepts, you will discover this on your own. But rather, letting you go the long way, I'm giving you shortcuts, that's all. Right? And again, I can't take this with me.
Like a navigation, so like a tom-tom.
Exactly, right. Rather than ask people, hey, how to get there? Oh, I'm lost again, right? Just take left, right, same thing, I'm a guy. So,
and then when we make wrong turns, you like rerouting. Okay, now we have to.
So, yeah, so it's very important to be not selfish, you know, because the more people know about this, the better it is for the system.
But it's too good to put on the.
That's all right. Most people will probably cast stones at me, but I don't care. I hope you guys enjoy it. That's the most important part. Okay, sorry about the soapbox.
No. Get on board sometimes. I think having the proper mindset is critical.
Oh, absolutely.
So part of the reason why I want to learn is because I'm on a plane all the time. So I always think, what's the worst case scenario? How would I defend myself in that kind of situation? How do I defend my family?
Right.
How do I defend myself? Yeah, and small, important.
Right.
So that is like how do I
Absolutely.
That's my mindset. Where I prepare.
Absolutely, and this is where Wing Chun comes in. You know, we're not tooting our own horn because, let me just jump forward a little bit conceptually wise. You know, you're talking about defending yourself and defending loved ones. There's, in a situation, the ideal situation when you defend yourself, you want to do a one-beat fighting concept as opposed to 2 beats. 2 beats is defend and attack. That's what most martial arts teach. Defend, attack. Okay? Defend, attack. Now we say we were blessed with 2 arms, and the arms having the benefit of the legs supporting it, so they're free to do whatever they want. If we can do 2 hands at the same time, it's a tremendous advantage. So if we jump back to Thursday, remember last Thursday we were learning punch, right? Punch. Okay. So we have the punch, and then we have the concept. Together it's this. Okay? So everything we learned today.
Basically, you can do both.
Exactly. That's the same thing. If I can do tansa and strike, and gansa and strike, all right? Boxer and strike, fuxa and strike, then I'm ahead of the game already.
Right.
That's called one beat fighting, which means using both arms at the same time, rather than one after the other. But when arm you have to use 2 beat fighting. For example, Open-mindedness. You're shielding somebody, your wife, your daughter.
But it doesn't feel right.
All she has to do is hang on to your arm, right? When you do this, she's gonna follow you, right? But you're always facing the attack. You only have one arm now. You are forced to use two different fingers. Defend first, attack second. You only have one arm now.
It's maybe
Right.
a physical thing too, you're kind of slippery.
Mike,
Little
yeah.
volume for things? Sure.
Okay. So he swings at me.
Hook straight?
Yeah, hook, right? I don't want to do this. Right? I want to do this instead. Boom. But if you are shielding you, you're like this. Now he's sort of hooks at me, right? I have to do 2-beat fighting. I have no choice. Alright? That's one way. Another way, of course, is using different ranges of weapons. So you're behind me, right? And he's coming in to kick, right? I'm going to use a longer weapon. He's going to use a longer weapon. When he does this,
Yes. You can.
because my legs are longer. That's also understanding the
Long
concept.
range and short range.
Yes, medium range. Right. He's using the longest range on his upper body. I'm using the longest range weapon on my lower body. I get there first because my leg is longer. Okay. So that is the way intelligently use fighting intelligently and learning intelligently. If we learn intelligently, we're gonna fight the same way.
But because it's
so
much pain if you do it so fast. That's really not gonna, there's nothing to do.
Okay, so now we're going to do fuchs out again. This time we're going to do switch left and right. Okay. All right.
So we'll read this. Straight.
Okay. So left side. Okay. Cross the line and straight line up. So you have two. You got like a zigzag. 1, 2. Okay. So see that zigzag line. Okay. Left side, right side. 2.
Yes.
Then to tense up. Yes,
Tense up.
to tense up this muscle. Right. Left side. 3. 4. Make sure arms not extended.
No.
5.
That's a lot.
You're gonna use this.
6. 7. 8. 9.
That's the only good thing.
Make sure your heel, palm of your touch the corner. 10.
Let's do that for you.
One more set. 1. 2. 3. Bend the wrist. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Bring that leg to 10. Your left hand is good. Your right hand tends to be too close to the body. So see that angle.
Oh, there's something.
You're going out rather than across. You're going, see,
Something like a
sideways
it's easier with the guy.
rather than this. See, now it takes too much time. Right, it goes too straight up, and then up again. Zigzag. Yes. Okay. Very good. So,
They have everything set.
hands up, jump up. We used to Big Brother's mandates all the time. It's wrong. Which means, if we can use these shapes or these tools to defend, we have to think of a way to make them attack. Okay? So, this is when you come to looking at your whole arm rather than just one part of the arm. So we're going to say, tansao is sideways movement, the direction is sideways, okay? We're focusing on here. Now, if we shift our focus from the wrist to the fingertips, it becomes a jabbing motion. Like this. Alright? Yeah, okay. So, if I may, okay. So the tansao, this beauty is like you're learning the foundation stuff, right? They're doing the advanced, like if I may use that term, advanced. But it's the same thing. There's nothing, it's because they're doing the advanced stuff, it's like, oh, I've never seen that before. Everything they're doing, you are doing, okay? Just on a deeper level. So for example, I'm going to use the tansao to defend.
The very first one was
which is to control. And also use the same tansa to attack. So I'm using
You have to,
tansa, okay? This hand wants to, right? Even if I'm putting it over here, that's too bad. Turn to tansa, yeah?
yeah.
Right?
With that.
Okay. Right? And tansa, assisting me, right?
You were on the bottom, right?
That's using to defend. Or to control. Now we use the same hand to attack. Which is a jani motion. Okay? It looks like this. Oh, cool.
Right? Why not?
Okay? Okay? You see, same tool. Yeah, because of yin yang principle. Okay? So now we do the same thing tansa. This time, the focus of your focus shift is from the wrist to the fingertip, jabbing the eye. Okay? Repeat the left side. Okay? 1. Shoot it out towards the center line. Yeah. You remember, you're cutting the center line. His center line. Right? 2. Shoot towards the eye. Yes. Simple. Repeat the left side. 3. Good. 4. 5. Slow down a little bit. 6. 7. Yeah. 8. Good. 9. 10. Right? You notice the shape did not change. Whether you're defending or attacking, the same shape. Same shape. Let's switch to the right side. Same thing. 1. Good.
Second
2.
one, I have added
3.
but I'll show you, it's in there.
4. Beautiful. 5.
So I can
6.
which, because it
7.
steps out against something that's not really going on,
8.
it's just set up for
Good. 9. 10. Very good. All right. Let's do switching. Okay. Left attack, right attack. Okay. 1. Left. 2. Right. 3.
Draw some letters.
4. 5. 6. 7.
Should we do that?
8. 9. 10. Very good. All right, so that's using tansa to attack. Likewise, we can use gansa, jamsa, and fuksa to attack. It's just the parts of the arm change. Yes.
The focus of similar movements, different focus, whether it's fingertips,
Or the wrist.
palm, or the
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, as a rule, you defend using the same tool, but the contact points are different.
right.
Okay, so right now, we're using this part to attack, but we use this part to defend, or this part to defend. Okay? If I use jamsa, I'm using this part to defend. If I'm using tansa, I'm using this part to defend. If I'm using tansa to attack, it's this part. Okay, so it's one shape, you have 3 different functions. Okay,
That's it.
all right. Now we're going to use gansa, which is palm down concept. Okay, because we are cutting his center line, which is the person in the mirror. Okay, you are cutting it with the edge of your hand like this to the abdomen. This is what you. Right, so you're doing this. This is my Yes, forward now rather than side.
And it's still straight, but it's here.
Yeah, now you're cutting it with your wrist. Not your wrist, the edge of your
Now,
hand.
is it straight?
Forward. Yeah, straight, yeah. Good. Alright? Alright, let's start. Repeat. 1.
So simple. Simple strike. Like
3.
right hand strike, right foot.
4.
Like simple.
Oh, I see how it allows you to slip.
5. Good. Alright, let's switch to the right side. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Very good. Now move on to jump side. Okay. jumps out is cutting across, right? Same thing. I'm cutting across. Yes. So you're cutting this line right here, cut across. Okay? 1. Yes. Your intention now is this rather than here. Okay? 2.
There it is.
Yes. Justin, yes, sir. So now, watch here, right? He's going to do jumps out first defensively as I strike.
I was on the bottom, right?
Okay. See, I'm striking at him. He jumps out there. Contact point right here. The same movement can be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Right? Because the target changed. He either cuts my hand using his, because you don't want to cut here, so you're going to slip off. This is not more here. Or same tool. Thank you. Right, so this allows you to, without having to say, and now let me switch to a different tool. Then you collect so many tools, and at a moment's notice, which one do I pick?
Complex?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
The
those.
same,
Yes,
same thing.
everything's
Right.
full function. Don't need a lot of tools.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Extend.
Where you're,
Which
where
are
you're
contact.
where you want the contact point to be.
Exactly.
Is the application.
Right. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. On both sides. Yeah.
This one, which we're doing that talking this way.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And then there was, you were doing.
Or you can just go do this like a dancer.
Oh, like this, like.
Yeah.
Yes. Coming
Right.
here.
That's, yeah, more direct.
Oops.
You can use a arm bend, which is a bounce up or ganza. Or like this.
Oh, I see what you're saying, just switch it all the way
Yeah, either
around.
use the hand or use the,
That'd be forearm.
right.
Oh, this coming here, or this.
Yeah.
So you're moving his center line out.
He's moving he's shortening this arm.
Oh, so
Because-
he can't reach over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, we're always conscious of both these arms. We don't want to get cold cut by forgetting his other arm, Everything we do is with that in mind. Just like when you do double, when you do a lock, you want to make sure that other arm is not available.
What's going on?
Right? Again, you can see how easy it is, right? Right here, see? His arm is this way, right? Remember, the principle of chin or joint locking is about yin and yang. Everything is right. Either you extend or you compress. Compression causes pain. Extension causes pain, right? So in here, bounce out. Hands out right here. Right? See, that's the lock, or becomes a sweep. Right? Comes here, you sweep. All right? Okay? All right? So you see, you had to extend, or you compress. From here, you compress. From here. Right? Cool. Thank you. One more time.
Just a little bit of jujitsu for a while. That's it.
So slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So you can see the hand as it turns into bum panza. Right. So you're doing this.
Yes. It's like the control outside.
Yeah, it won't work if it's not in time out.
And it's an extra step.
Right.
To rotate.
So you times out now. You can,
Yeah.
of course, it's right
Yeah.
there. Because you see joints. This, you know, yeah. It's like turn times out, slide. Yes. And this also is reminiscent of everything is connected. You know, we're able to transition between empty hands and weapons. Okay, so that you see in pole, the long pole, because this is my parting gift. It's my fault. Just like rowing, you have rowboats, right? Right. Look at the poles as oars. Okay, you can turn that oar with the top hand, I mean the front hand, or the rear hand, right? Or you can both. Right? So that's an example of both. See? Because if I just do this, I'm using this only. Oh, I'm sorry. But I need that. Yeah. I'm doing this. I'm doing this, which is called 한구리. Hands out. I'm doing a hands out.
Yeah.
With his arm.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh, yeah. Okay? I'm using a shorter guy, okay? So now imagine, this is longer, right? This is the wrist, this is the elbow. I'm doing the shape, hands out. Right? Except now this is the arm, elbow, wrist.
Yeah. You just have to know which way the elbow locks. Just pull straight.
That's how powerful this stuff is. You know, you see beyond just empty hands. Oh, I'm just do grappling. All right.